StockPulse.com news desk, talking Rio Silver today. Rio Silver trades as RYO on the Toronto Venture Exchange, RYOOF on the OTC markets in the States. Got with me now the president and CEO, Christopher Verrico. Going to do a little corporate update. So, Chris, appreciate you taking the time here. I guess before we get into what's happening in 22, or maybe recap 21 for investors.
Sure. Well, 21, like we know, was a bit of a tough year, I guess. We had, complete lockdown in the community, so we weren't able to advance certain things. But our Palta Dorada project, thankfully, is not community dependent. We don't have to answer to a community at that particular site, which is kind of unusual for Peru, but not unique, but somewhat unique. So we're fortunate there, and we were able to push Palta Dorada ahead basically as fast as we could, as permitting and as the COVID and all those things would allow us to move. And we've now got a tunnel where we're basically under 150 meters under there. We're still 75 meters short of target. We were really hoping that the vein would have thickened up at this point, but it hasn't. And so what we're having to do to sort of jumping ahead to 2022 at Palta Dorada, great infrastructure in place. We're all ready to start drawing ore out of the bottom. We're well underneath this thing. But we're going to put a side raise up right at this moment next month and get some better ventilation down there, so we can continue to finish the job off. So we thought we'd be into the ore prior to having to do this extra bit of infrastructure. It'll probably take us a month, but we're going to put a side raise, basically a decline or an incline shaft, and it'll allow for ventilation, better servicing, access to for our works, our permanent works there, and we'll put a couple underground drill stations, anticipating the arrival of our underground drilling equipment, which is scheduled to arrive in Lima 31st of March. So we've got two complete sets of underground drills and ancillary equipment, tubes, pipes, everything is in a container. It's on its way there just as we speak. And so that's dedicated for Palta Dorada, all that equipment. We have a driller in Lima ready to go. So that'll be much more helpful. You're getting some drilling done from underground. We don't want to drill from the surface. It's a bit of a long way. It's expensive, but from drilling from underground stations close to where we're working, we can just drill, 30, 40 meter holes, and we can get a really good picture of what we're doing, and maybe even get a small resource out of it, perhaps, possibly. But anyways, it'll give the guys great confidence to push on ahead in the market until they'll know exactly what we're up, why we're doing what we're doing. The drill core will tell the tale. So that's all, that's all happening, although it's quietly. It doesn't generate results directly. It all takes time and patience, unfortunately, but we're doing the right thing. We've got a fantastic project at Palta Dorada, very strong mesothermal vein system right up against in the granites. So it's very, very competent rock, fairly cheap to develop, actually, very little support material required. It's a fairly easy mine to work. It's close to the coast. It's only the whole thing's at 800 meters of sea level, so it's not high up in the Andes. It's very easy, and we don't have a community to deal with. And we think we've got a home run there. So we've been advancing the project, and we thought we'd have. We're following a structure. We thought it would, it pinches and swells, and we thought we'd be into the ore, but the plunge zone, the targeted zone is still ahead of us. We thought we'd have a bit of ore we could send to the market, to help offset cost at this point, but we're not quite yet. We're close. But so anyways, we're just plugging away, and we think that's still going to offset a considerable amount of our overhead and capex, going forward, and as we develop our main flagship, which is our Niñobamba project.
Yeah, well, let's get into that now. Obviously, Niñobamba comes with a lot of history there. How are you going to go attack it?
Well, we think it's our year for Niñobamba. I mean, this company has been working on this thing, 14 years now, I believe, was the inception when the project became available to us. We've all known about this project for basically 22 years when it was discovered by AngloGold. We all knew about it at the time, and history has just played itself out. And Newmont got involved as well with the area there, AngloGold and Newmont. But basically 12 years ago, we managed to consolidate the property. But then the markets kind of went kaputs on us, and we just, it was an expensive project, and then we had problems with the management at the time. Our geologist basically took over. And the project kind of went into care and maintenance, or put in an incubator is essentially what happened for about 8 years after 2012. Not that much happened, so 7 or 8 years. So that's where I got back involved with the project, and it was our stars were aligning. We felt the markets were aligning for us, because this is a big project to undertake, but nonetheless, it's a world-class project. One out of two of these things becomes a mine. These are huge high sulfidation epithermal systems sticking out of the ground. There's none of these things available like it. It's right in the main mineral trend. Access is great, infrastructure is great. It's sort of on its own. It's in a big collapse caldera off the side of the highway. It's not visible from anywhere. It's sort of on its own. It's not bothering anybody. We think it's a home run. The infrastructure is fantastic to develop a project of this nature, and so it's our time. Our time is coming.
Yeah, so you painted quite a picture here. So I guess walk investors through how things are going to proceed in 22, and then the workload here and what to expect.
Well, we think the year is going to be great. I mean, our markets woke right up, and not from lack of a lot of news. A little bit of news flow, not much, which haven't just been anticipating that the major project here, and the markets come right around quite nicely. I think this could be our time. Our time. The market looks like it's supportive, and the project's going to unfold. We have our people up in there next week. We're going to have in a week from now, 9 or 10 days from now, we'll have the answers. Our people are in the community. We're having another assembly, actually the second assembly that we've actually attended in person. It was just completely, the whole area has been completely locked down. But we managed to reach out to the community through the president and some of the more established members, and they are very interested in what we're doing, actually. And it would dovetail with what they're doing. And we're not going to be, they realize that we're not going to be a problem for them. We're not in their way. We're going to supply some jobs for them, and the future is for all of us to be held. I mean, they're all stakeholders in this thing, and they'll do very well if we do well. And so we think we were over the hump. So we get this final pass with the community. Then all the environmental work has been done for the permit purposes, the drill permit. So once we get the community the approval at the assembly, everything goes in a package, with all the environmental assessment and the baseline studies. It's all ready to go. They all get submitted to the Ministry of Mines, and it may take them upwards of 3 months to turn around, but they guarantee a 3-month window, and they'll turn around with a permit. And these permits are seldom ever upheld. I mean, there's no issues here. I mean, if it had been a park or all these kind of problems, but no, there's no problems. There's no what's the word? Anyways, there's no hidden boogeyman out there. We think it's straightforward. No fatal flaws is the word I was looking for. No fatal flaws, and the community is on side. They're coming around quite nicely. We finally got to talk to them, and we think we're going to get past. So that's just going to unlock the whole cycle of value creation that these junior companies are good for. I mean, to take on big industrial activities with a small junior public company is not necessarily the best use of the whole experience. It's but when you can drill into the ground and create value for the company at millions of dollars for every drill hole, tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars with a value for every drill hole once you're onto the ore body, then that becomes very much value accretive for your shareholders. And we're so close to being at that phase. We've been very careful, try to not dilute the company much, maintain the asset. We've repositioned our holdings. We managed to streamline a lot of things. We've gotten rid of some royalties. We've managed to all the background work has been done in preparation for our discovery. And like I say, one out of two of these things becomes a mine, and we think we're over the hump already. There's two deposits at Niñobamba. The stuff that Angle Gold worked on, which is high sulfidation silver gold, it was about 50-50 actually. A leachable target, and then the other half of the project is where Newmont worked at with Jormina, which was another high grade gold, but looked like more of a conventional milling process likely involved there. So it may be a slightly different style of mineralization, more of a mid-scale, mid-sulfidation perhaps. But anyways, Newmont spent $10 million there, and they were in 2012, it culminated in 2012 with a recommendation to proceed by their people. But then the music stopped, and every one of these projects and everywhere stopped, the whole world. I mean, the capital just dried up instantly. So that's where we're flash forward. Here we are.
Okay, well, appreciate that update. Again, that was Christopher Verrico. He's the president and CEO of Rio Silver. It's RYO Toronto Venture Exchange, RYOOF OTC markets in the States. And again, we appreciate the update from Chris, and we'll look forward to checking back in when Rio Silver hits the wire again.